SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. We are previewing Week 9 in college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. He's going to discuss Houston and Rutgers. He's got a lean and edge on that line. Steve, thanks for being back with us this week.
Thank you for having me back, Peter.
All right, so how are things going so far this year at collegefootballwinning.com? Pretty good, right?
They're going well. Our record against the spread for our algorithmic picks, and we're a company founded on algorithmic picks, is 68.97% so far this year. And if people want to join us, we hope they do. They just put in coupon code SBR20 and they'll get 20% off of any membership that we're offering.
Wow. All right. So for those of you who demand 70%, just give it a few weeks. For those of you who, over 65% is acceptable, there you go. Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. Very impressive record. All right, Houston-Rutgers is the game that we're going to discuss right now. Rutgers, 7-point home favorite, total 61. And Rutgers, off a long layoff. Houston off their close, high-scoring loss to BYU, their first loss of the year. But Houston has really played, no one good this year. Maybe Rice was their best win, a road win at Rice. Rutgers, not been bad. They haven't been that bad. They beat Arkansas. Their two losses were very forgivable to Fresno State by just 1 and Louisville by 14. So off the extended rest with a decent strength of schedule. Rutgers -7. Is that the side you like?
That is not the side I like. I'm liking Houston right here.
Wow. Okay.
Second-year head coach Tony Levine. He is a perfect 6-0 against the spread so far this year. And Houston flying under the radar, a perfect against the spread team, middle of the season, the cat is not out of the bag on these guys just yet. Now, Kyle Flood, second-year head coach at Rutgers, he is just 4-5 against the spread at home, 1-2 against the spread this year so far. It is homecoming at Rutgers. But here's an important thing to note about homecoming. Homecoming at Rutgers, Rutgers has lost 2 of their last 3 homecoming games straight up, and all 3 of them against the spread. So don't be afraid of betting against Rutgers just because it's homecoming. Now, Houston's passing offense, they're ranked 15th in the country. That's going up against Rutgers' passing defense, which is 124th against FBS competition. So there's a mismatch. Rutgers' pass defense can be forgiven to a certain extent because they played Fresno, they played Louisville, and even against SMU, pass all the time. But how about Eastern Michigan? Eastern Michigan passed for a season high, and it wasn't even close. A season high by 112 passing yards. That's their second highest passing output in the last 5 seasons, and that was at Rutgers. So for that, we don't forgive Rutgers. Houston is number 1 in the country in turnover margin. They're getting an average of 2 interceptions a game. Rutgers is 97th in the country in turnover margin against the FBS, including throwing 6 interceptions in the last 3 games, so that's 2 a game right there. Special teams. Since 2009, Rutgers has prided themselves on their special teams play. They have the most blocked kicks and punts. They have 14 special teams touchdowns since 2009. They have 3 special teams touchdowns this year. Well, Houston head coach Tony Levine, he's a special teams guy. He was promoted from special teams coordinator to head coach at Houston. And consequently, Houston is number 6 in kickoff returns. They're number 1 in preventing punt return yardage in the country. So Rutgers, their advantage in special teams is really going to be nullified by the superior play of Tony Levine and his Houston squad. Now, Rutgers, their number 1 running back, and in fact, the guy who leads the conference in rushing yards, running back Paul James, looks like he is not going to play. He's not supposed to play in this game. We think this line should be Rutgers favored by just under a field goal. So the fact that you can get Houston in a touchdown, we think there's real value there. So we like the Houston side, +7.
Okay, Steve from collegefootballwinning.com, liking Houston +7 to cover against Rutgers. Thanks, Steve.